An update on the Justin Baldoni dust up with Blake Lively. You know that Justin and his team promised to start releasing all of his correspondence with her. They're saying...
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they f***ed up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
Joe Rogan, the ultimate authority on no-holds-barred opinions, has entered the ongoing drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and let's just say he didn't hold back. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, the unapologetic commentator unleashed a fiery tirade, calling out Lively for what he sees as an epic miscalculation in her legal feud with Baldoni. They fucked up, Rogan declared, his voice dripping with the kind of incredulity only he can deliver.
And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
Rogan didn't mince words, accusing Lively of trying to weaponize her allegations against Baldoni to take control of the film. It ends with us. But according to Rogan, the tables have turned. He praised Baldoni for his bold attempt at clearing his name, even comparing the actor-director's legal battle to Johnny Depp's public courtroom showdown. He's like, all right, enough, Rogan said, applauding Baldoni for not rolling over in the face of what he labeled as a list intimidation from Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Rogan even went so far as to call Baldoni a really sweet, nice guy, painting a picture of an underdog standing up to Hollywood heavyweights. The podcast host was clearly fascinated by the so-called receipts Baldoni has presented, including text messages and behind-the-scenes footage that allegedly contradict Lively's claims. Rogan couldn't help but marvel at the strategy, calling it a bold move in a legal battle that has grown messier by the day. He pointed out one particularly juicy piece of evidence, a text exchange in which Lively reportedly invited Baldoni into her trailer while she was pumping, despite later accusing him of making her uncomfortable by walking in uninvited. You literally have a text exchange back and forth, Rogan stressed, adding that the evidence could turn the tide in Baldoni's favor. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
She also provided a cease and desist letter, asking them to cease, quote, all unlawful conduct, namely what they alleged is the, quote, harassing and retaliatory media and online campaign against Miss Lively.
Rogan's take on the situation wasn't just about the legal battle. It was about the power dynamics in Hollywood. He argued that most people in the entertainment industry would be too afraid to go up against Lively and Reynolds, given their A-list status and influence. Everyone is scared, Rogan said. Ryan Reynolds, a list. Blake Lively, a list. But Baldoni, he's not backing down, and Rogan seems to respect that. He posted the receipts, Rogan reiterated, emphasizing that Baldoni's willingness to fight back is what sets him apart. The podcast host didn't stop at praising Baldoni. He also took several swipes at Reynolds. Mocking the Deadpool star for allegedly trying to distance himself from the legal drama, Rogan said, Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this. Rogan even brought up the infamous Nicepool character in Deadpool and Wolverine, which Baldoni claims is a parody of him. While Reynolds' legal team has dismissed the claim as a case of hurt feelings, Rogan seemed to suggest that the mockery was part of a broader campaign to undermine Baldoni.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are seeking to dismiss Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against them.
The legal feud itself has become a spectacle, with both sides hurling accusations and counter-accusations that have captivated Hollywood and beyond. Lively initially accused Baldoni of making her uncomfortable on set, claiming he orchestrated a smear campaign against her in retaliation for her speaking out. Baldoni, in turn, filed a massive defamation lawsuit, alleging that Lively's allegations were part of a calculated strategy to sabotage him and seize control of the film's narrative. The stakes couldn't be higher, with Baldoni seeking hundreds of millions in damages and both sides fighting to protect their reputations.
And it's like, all right,
dude,
enough.
He posted the receipts.
Oh,
he's like, oh, remember our text exchange?
Bah, how about she told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding? And then part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone just bows down.
Because everyone's scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds, A-list, Blake Lively, A-list. Like, they're the queens.
Rogan's commentary adds yet another layer to an already complicated narrative. By siding with Baldoni, he's effectively challenging the perception of Lively and Reynolds as untouchable Hollywood royalty. His podcast, known for its unfiltered takes, has given a voice to Baldoni's side of the story in a way that few other platforms have. And Rogan didn't just stop at dissecting the evidence. He also questioned Lively's motivations. They were trying to take over the movie and the franchise, Rogan claimed, echoing Baldoni's allegations. Whether or not that's true, the accusation has added fuel to an already raging fire. But what exactly is the evidence that has Rogan so fired up? In addition to the controversial text messages, Baldoni has launched an entire website dedicated to defending himself. The site includes a detailed timeline of events, raw behind-the-scenes footage, and even voice notes that Baldoni believes debunk Lively's claims. Rogan was clearly impressed by the level of detail, calling it a meticulous effort to clear his name.
If you look at this scene that was captured on tape, you'll see there's nothing nefarious going on. She says this actually proves her point. There's an argument that she is hiding her discomfort with what he's saying and doing, and she's just trying to finish the scene like any kind of professional. Which way you take it, which way you perceive it, again, that'll be up to a jury or the fact finder.
The podcast host also touched on the broader implications of the legal battle, comparing it to the Depp Heard trial in terms of its potential to reshape public opinion. It's like Johnny Depp, Rogan said, drawing parallels between Baldoni's fight and Depp's high-profile defamation case against Amber Heard. In both instances, Rogan suggested the male stars were forced to go on the offensive to salvage their careers. He did it for the boys, Rogan said of Depp, implying that Baldoni's fight could have a similar ripple effect. Rogan's commentary has undoubtedly amplified the drama surrounding the case, but it's also raised questions about the role of public opinion in legal disputes. By siding so openly with Baldoni, Rogan has effectively put himself in the middle of a controversy that shows no signs of slowing down. His podcast may not be a courtroom, but it's clear that Rogan sees himself as a kind of cultural referee, weighing in on issues that resonate far beyond the entertainment industry. As the legal battle continues to unfold, Rogan's words are likely to reverberate through Hollywood and beyond. His endorsement of Baldoni as a nice guy fighting against the odds adds a new dimension to the narrative, one that could influence how the public perceives the case. And while Rogan's opinions are known for being polarizing, they also have a way of sparking conversations that extend far beyond the podcast itself.
They say Friedman may even be violating the New York rules of professional conduct for lawyers by doing all this. Quote, his conduct threatens to and will materially prejudice both the Lively case and the Wayfarer case by tainting the jury pool because his statements are deliberately aimed at undermining the character, credibility, and reputation of numerous relevant parties.
So, what's next for Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni? With a trial date set for 2026, the legal drama is far from over. But one thing is clear, Rogan's commentary has added a new layer of intrigue to an already explosive situation. Whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that his take on the feud has shaken up the conversation, leaving fans and critics alike eager to see how it all plays out. And, as Rogan himself might say, the whole thing's crazy. As the legal firestorm surrounding Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Dustin Baldoni continues to escalate, it's not just the courtroom battles making headlines. It's also the growing distance between Lively and her once tight inner circle. Friends, family, and even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, appear to be quietly stepping back from the chaos, leaving Lively to navigate this storm largely on her own. So, what's really going on behind the scenes? Is this a case of self-preservation, or could it hint at deeper cracks in Lively's relationships?
We just broke a shocking story. There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift.
Let's start with Ryan Reynolds, the man who has long been seen as Lively's unwavering partner in life and career. But recently, all eyes have been on Reynolds, who seems to be doing everything he can to extricate himself from Baldoni's countersuit. According to insiders, Reynolds filed a motion to dismiss himself from the lawsuit, arguing that the claims against him were nothing more than attempts to drag him into a battle he had no real connection to. Yet, Rogan's sharp critique of Reynolds' actions, calling him cowardly for trying to back out, has only fueled speculation. Is Reynolds genuinely uninvolved, or is there more to his sudden retreat? Some critics argue that Reynolds' attempts to distance himself could be a sign that he knows the case has the potential to do real damage, not just to his wife's reputation, but to his own carefully cultivated public persona as a Hollywood nice guy. Adding to the intrigue is Reynolds' alleged role in the creation of the nice pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine, which Baldoni claims was a direct jab at him. Baldoni's legal team has accused Reynolds of using his influence to mock Baldoni image, portraying him as a caricature of a so-called woke feminist. While Reynolds' camp has brushed off the allegations, calling them exaggerated and baseless, the narrative has undoubtedly added another layer of complexity to a case that already feels like it's ripped straight from the pages of a Hollywood screenplay.
Yeah. So remember that what Taylor had told Justin was that Blake herself, she said, was Khaleesi, who was the queen in Game of Thrones, and Ryan, her husband, and Taylor were her dragons, her best friend. Although I think best friend is now past tense.
But Reynolds isn't the only one stepping away from the spotlight. Friends and former allies of Lively are also keeping their distance, and some are even reportedly cutting ties altogether. Take Taylor Swift, for example. Once one of Lively's closest friends and allies, Swift has reportedly been less than thrilled about being dragged into the drama. According to leaked text messages from Lively to Baldoni, she referred to Swift as one of her dragons, seemingly implying that she could rely on Swift's influence to shield her from public backlash. But the move may have backfired. Sources close to Swift claim that the singer was blindsided by the mention and has been quietly distancing herself from Lively ever since. One insider even suggested that Swift resents being used as a pawn in Lively's legal battles, further straining their once tight friendship. The fallout with Swift seems to be part of a larger pattern. Other members of Lively's inner circle, including some of her It Ends With Us co-stars, appear to be keeping their distance. Jenny Slate, who has previously been vocal in her support of Lively, has remained noticeably silent in recent weeks, refusing to comment on the ongoing legal drama. And then there's Brandon Sklenar, another co-star from the film, who appeared to subtly show his support for Baldoni by wearing a pin identical to one Baldoni wore during the film's premiere. While it's unclear whether this was a deliberate statement, the timing has certainly raised eyebrows.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to fucking ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise.
Even within Lively's own household, the tension appears to be mounting. Rumors have swirled that Reynolds is frustrated with how the legal drama is overshadowing their family life and professional endeavors. The couple, who were once regulars at high-profile events like the Met Gala, have been noticeably absent from the social scene. Just recently, they announced that they would not be attending the 2025 Met Gala, citing a desire to stay out of the spotlight. While sources close to the couple insist that the decision was made months ago, long before the legal battle erupted, the timing has led many to speculate otherwise. Could this be a strategic move to avoid further scrutiny, or is it a sign that the couple is feeling the strain of the ongoing drama? Adding to this strain is the mounting cost of the legal battle, which is reportedly spiraling into the millions as both sides dig in for what looks to be a prolonged fight. While Lively and Reynolds are no strangers to wealth, sources close to the couple suggest that the financial pressure is becoming another source of stress. The couple, known for their savvy business ventures and charitable efforts, is said to be reevaluating their priorities as the lawsuit threatens to siphon resources away from other personal and professional projects. For a duo that has always been seen as calculated and forward-thinking, this prolonged uncertainty is likely taking a toll on their carefully managed empire.
I think that that's going to be, probably a game time decision. Anyone that reasonably has information that can be, that can provide evidence in this case is going to be deposed.
Insiders close to the couple have hinted that the legal battle is affecting more than just Lively and Reynolds' public image. It's reportedly taking a toll on their personal relationship as well. Reynolds, typically known for his humor and steadfast support for his wife, is said to be feeling increasingly frustrated behind the scenes. Sources indicate that he feels trapped in a situation he never anticipated, as the legal drama has shifted from being solely about Lively to potentially damaging their family's reputation. With their 4 children in the mix, Reynolds is reportedly determined to protect them from the intense public scrutiny that comes with this level of controversy. Further complicating matters is Lively's alleged determination to press forward in her fight against Baldoni. According to those familiar with the situation, Lively has been adamant about doubling down on her claims, showing no willingness to consider compromise or settlement. This approach has reportedly caused tension between her and Reynolds, who is said to prefer a more discreet resolution to minimize further backlash. Lively is described as being in a relentless state of determination, fully committed to proving her case, even if it means enduring years of litigation. Reynolds, however, appears to be more focused on the potential long-term damage to their public image and their professional brand, urging a more cautious path as the legal battle unfolds.
First and foremost, I should tell you that I have a major scoop regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their newest legal plan or something that they were attempting.
At the same time, there is growing speculation that other Hollywood elites have been quietly distancing themselves from the couple. Industry insiders suggest that several high-profile friends who were once regulars at Lively and Reynolds' social gatherings have been conspicuously absent. While some may still support Lively, it seems that many are hesitant to risk being associated with such a high-profile scandal. Hollywood may love a redemption arc, but this type of controversy can leave a lasting mark, making association with it an unappealing prospect. This increasing isolation could be a significant challenge for a couple whose social and professional standing has long been bolstered by their influential network of friends. And let's not forget the broader implications for Lively's career. Known for her impeccable style and A-list status, Lively has always been a fixture in Hollywood's elite circles. But her involvement in this legal battle has undeniably tarnished her image. Industry insiders have begun to question whether she'll be able to recover her reputation, especially as more details emerge about her alleged role in the behind-the-scenes turmoil on the set of It Ends With Us. The film, which was initially seen as a career-defining project for Lively, has now become a symbol of controversy, with even its box office success overshadowed by the ongoing legal drama.
Liz Plank was out, instantly said she quit, a show of support and solidarity with Blake after everything dropped, and people began looking into it.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has been positioning himself as the underdog in this saga, gaining sympathy from fans and colleagues alike. His decision to release a comprehensive timeline of events, complete with text messages, emails, and behind-the-scenes footage, has been described as a masterstroke by some observers. By presenting himself as a victim of a calculated smear campaign, Baldoni has managed to shift public perception in his favor, at least for now. And with heavyweights like Joe Rogan openly backing him, it's clear that Baldoni is far from being the Hollywood outcast some might have expected him to become. But where does this leave Lively? With friends stepping back, a husband seemingly trying to distance himself, and her public image taking hit after hit, it's hard to see how she'll come out of this unscathed. The trial, set for 2026, looms large on the horizon, and it's clear that both sides are gearing up for a battle of epic proportions. For Lively, the stakes couldn't be higher, not just financially, but also in terms of her legacy. Will she be able to reclaim her status as one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, or will this legal battle mark the beginning of a downward spiral?
And so Liz Plank was a perfect person for them to go after because first and foremost, if you don't know anything about her, I had never heard her name before this scandal. She's kind of branded herself as like the ultimate feminist. She is also Canadian, and everything that she does, like I think she majored in women's studies at McGill University, and she's very carefully done work as a big supporter of gender equality.
As the drama continues to unfold, one thing is certain. The fallout from this legal battle is far from over. With each new revelation, the lines between truth and fiction blur even further, leaving fans and critics alike to wonder what's really going on behind closed doors. And with so many high-profile figures now caught in the crossfire, it's anyone's guess how this story will ultimately end. Will Lively find a way to turn the tide in her favor, or will Baldoni's meticulous campaign to clear his name prove too much for her to overcome? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding story. Until next time, take care and keep seeking the truth.